This is Mileva, creator of Pink Wall Sessions, and you are about to witness the pilot of Pink Wall Chats.
Hey guys, this is Helen, founder of Wedding Bells, and this is the first episode of our series on female entrepreneurs. Yeah, thank you so much for making your way down today. It's really great to have you here. So I guess we're just gonna get stuck in. So tell me a bit about your professional life before you decided to launch your own business.
So I was working in hospitality for a really long time for literally a really long time.
Yeah.
Before I launched it, and I was working for the same people and doing the same thing, and I just thought I really want to do this for myself. Actually, I wanted to have the time and the structure that has no structure.
Yeah. You wanted to make your own chaotic structure, basically.
Exactly, yeah. And I wanted to also, there's loads of stuff that you do that you can come up with creatively that if it's your own business you can do, and if it's somebody else's business you're not allowed to do because it's their business, and they have their own creative ideas that you need to follow.
Yeah, you can't modify their brand in any way. So
no.
It means your creativity gets stifled, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. So yeah, that's what I was doing before, and it just gave me the leg up to be able to do that and have enough connections in the industry to launch in the first place.
And were you so you were working in events when you were working in the hospitality industry? That's kind of what you were doing before Wedding Bells was launched. Yeah. So were you working specifically on weddings then?
So for a few years just weddings. I was the wedding person at a venue in Farringdon, and really built up their wedding business, and I really liked it. Doing weddings is so nice. It's so nice. You get to see somebody's happiest day and you make it.
Yeah.
So it's so nice.
It must be so rewarding.
It.
I give you your most perfect day.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's super rewarding to see. I really enjoyed it. It's really high pressured.
Yeah, I imagine. It's their perfect day. So
and also I'm a perfectionist, so it drives me crazy.
That's probably why you're really good at the job. You need to be a perfectionist to plan someone's wedding.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and I wanted to. So I was doing events before, and then it just worked its way into weddings, and it was kind of a natural progression.
So
really.
I was going to ask you, how did you come up with the idea for Wedding Bells? Why wedding planning? Why this business? But you kind of answered that question within your history because you were working in weddings.
Yes.
And you just kind of wanted to take that into your own stride, really.
Yeah, it's really nice. I also really enjoy throwing parties. It's really cool. And a wedding is just the perfect party, essentially. So it's really nice.
The most expensive party.
The most expensive party, yes. But it's really nice also to... weddings are somebody else's ultimate creation. So to be able to allow somebody to have a vision and for you to channel that vision and realize it for them is so nice. It's really super satisfying.
Was it hard getting your first clients, or did you already have, because you had a few contacts already from the
few contacts from the industry, so it made it much the transition was really swift. So I did a lot of weddings under my own business at the venue that I used to work for.
I see, okay.
And once you know people, other people recommend you, and it's all sort of word of mouth. My business is quite laissez-faire, so it's not I'm not a really traditional militant wedding planner. I prefer to have a sort of word of mouth friendly interaction and exchange with people, because I think if you are putting all of your energy into something that's one of their biggest days, they're putting all of their energy into that as well. It needs to be a good fit. So there are some 100%. People that would never choose me, and there's some people that I would never work with as well. Can you imagine? There's some bridezillas out there that you're just
you're not ready for that.
I run my own business for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. That is, I think, one of the best, pros of running your own business is that you decide who you work with. You work with people that actually make you feel good. You spend time with people that you love, and that's exactly spending a day working with your best friend. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, so
I would definitely recommend it for the rest of you guys. So when you how long ago did you launch Wedding Bells now? Where are we at?
I actually have no idea. 3 years ago? 3.5 years ago? 2.5 years ago, maybe? 2.5 years ago, I'd say, yeah. And it's taken it's been quite a journey, obviously, because I moved it to South America. So I've made it more... I work now really remotely. I think also, in the current climate, that's really working out well. It's nice for everyone to know that you don't have to be in London to do stuff in London. I think
you're not stuck anywhere.
No, and also for people who perhaps are getting married in London but aren't from London, or the other way around, who are from London but not getting married in London, they don't need to come to me ever, you know, we can just Zoom.
Yeah, no, it makes your business like really like inclusive. Like you can work with anyone from anywhere, from wherever they are. Which
Exactly,
is like that's
yeah.
a really good selling point as well, you know. And so you've had it for about 3 years. So what would you say would have been your biggest challenge? You know, like starting up this business or during the journey.
I would say starting, keeping the motivation up as well. It's really hard when you change circumstance to carry on something when your goal changes slightly. You must have this with your EPs actually, that you have a creation and it changes with you. Your ideals change, the things that you're interested in change, and to keep that business alive through those changes and keep it still yours, and have your essence and your energy and your creativity in it is quite challenging to do sometimes.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like you have to accept that you're gonna have to grow your business like you would your baby, like you do with yourself. It's not you come up with an idea, you set it up, and then that's it. It's constant work.
Unless you have people running it for you, which is like the secret dream.
Yeah. It's like I just want to have the ideas and then I want to line them each other. Fair enough. Like I would not say no to that.
Although I also hate someone else to run my
business. I know, it's like it's
hate
finding the balance between like I'm a secret control freak and I don't want anyone to touch my shit, but also I love to do
live on holiday.
Yeah. So like how can I have both?
So I mentioned earlier.
So this year you recently like kind of changed the concept of your business, which I thought was really cool, and I kind of wanted like to dive a bit deeper in that and like find out what was, you know, what motivated you to do that. So you used to be weddings only, and you've moved to wedding and wellness.
Weddings
and wellness, which is really intriguing. Yeah. So what's that about?
So I just wanted to, I think I wanted to make it a bit more me. So I've changed a lot in the last 3 years, and I think that it's really important that your brand reflects you. It's I mean, like, sincerity is part of your product. I think you can't deliver a good service without it being really true to yourself, especially in something that is so pure and energy driven and quite high intensity. I think it's really important to be
true to yourself.
True to yourself, yeah, exactly.
Your business becomes your life, so you better enjoy it and be like, you know,
exactly.
like, with it to be in phase with who you are.
Exactly,
it must get really difficult.
And I think that it became, I just started to notice the stress that people put on themselves when they are planning a wedding, myself included, actually. And I think that it's really important to be able to manage that stress. And I did quite a lot of work managing my own stress, managing my own anxiety. And so I've just integrated that aspect of my life into my business, because I think that if you watch 100 people planning a wedding, the same insecurities, the same anxieties, the same stresses crop up again and again and again. And actually half of my job is just making people feel okay with what they're doing, which is, you know, it's kind of just, I mean, it's allowing a vision to become reality, and half of that is through the people I know and the knowledge I have of the events industry and all of this stuff. And the other half of that is actually just making them feel okay with their vision, because actually it's not about what your mates think. And if one of the things that I would say to people is, if you're buying 100 people dinner, they should be buying you drinks. You don't have to have an open bar.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah,
I would second that statement.
Mate, you're buying everyone dinner. They owe you a drink. It's your wedding day.
And it's your day. Like, these people are here to celebrate your love. They love you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, they should get you a beer. Always. I don't know. I think that people get really hung up on whether or not they'll look like they're being stingy. People get really stressed out about really small details, about who's going to do what projects if they're delegating stuff. And I just think that actually, how do you call that? Allowing people to separate themselves from their anxiety and pinpoint what's stressing them out, and working through those issues is really a big part of my new brand.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool, because I think if you kind of initiate the discussion with, you know, your clients, that you know that planning a wedding is something really stressful, you know that you've noticed these patterns, you know that these like anxieties and stresses can arise, then people straight away can be like, oh, okay, so she knows what this means to me. She knows that's what I'm going to be. And you can like deal with that straight away. And then the process would become really stress-free. And straight away your clients are like, wow, she's going to look after me. Like, she cares about my day. She's not just waiting for her check and doing ticking the boxes.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
actually going to be involved.
And
that's
also
really
I
great.
do
Like,
care. Yeah, my God, I couldn't do a wedding I didn't care about. I think I just couldn't. It wouldn't feel right. I think it's again part of what's working for yourself. Is like you do shit that you like.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to spend your days like doing shit that doesn't matter to you. Like what you could do that without the pressure of running everything yourself.
Exactly. And also, you know, it's like I think as much as I would love to be rich, I also am not motivated by money in that way. I think I'm much more motivated about like doing nice things and making people feel nice, and that's what makes me feel really good.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, oh, I did this. Yes,
and it may sound a bit cliche, but like literally waking up thinking, oh my God, I'm so excited about all the things I have planned today. And those things are work. They're just work that you decide to do, work for your business, for your art, whatever it is that.
Yes.
And that's like, that you literally can't put a price on.
Yes, I know.
That is amazing.
So amazing.
That makes you a nice person to people. You look at people in the street and you're smiling, you know, it's like.
We got discount on coffee today.
Yeah, just for being nice and smiley. And it's like, that's what, like being happy is like a good disease. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you want to like fucking put into the world. And that only comes from being happy with yourself. And
what you're doing.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
I think also like we both had jobs that we hate, and we're really positive people, and think how much energy that takes to stay positive doing something you don't enjoy.
It takes all your energy.
It takes all of it.
All your
and
energy.
you're like, God, I need to be like creative and fun now. I'm like hanging out
So
with my friends that I haven't seen for ages, and I can't muster like being fun. I'm just like, God, I'm gonna have another beer because this is how I have to be fun, because it's the only way that I can exhaust.
Absolutely. Or like you
release my energy.
need to release your energy, and you need to like, I feel like, you know, there's this thing in like our society where, you know, you need to work because you need to make money. That's how you sustain life within the system. So, but like, you know, you try to like eat healthy, you try to like meditate, do nice things for you, but like the common thing that you hear is, I don't have time to do things that are nice for me. So you take all your energy just smiling every day and like getting up in the morning, even though you're not really excited about how you're gonna spend your life minutes, like the only ones you ever get. That's really daunting as a feeling.
It's also the philosophy I live my life by is like, if every single day you're like, you go to bed and you're like, I had a really good day today, you've had a fucking good life. I don't need like success, money, blah blah. I don't
really
have
think
this
it's that simple.
long-term vision. It is that simple.
It is that simple.
But if you are doing something that you don't enjoy, so for example, when I was in Calais, I worked 10 hours a day doing really menial tasks sometimes, like sometimes just pairing hundreds of socks or whatever in this warehouse. But every morning I woke up 2 hours before I left the house, just so that I could do some yoga, like have a really nice breakfast, I'd have a coffee, I'd chill out, I'd just study a bit maybe. Then I'd walk into work instead of grabbing a lift with one of my friends, because I enjoyed the walk, because I enjoyed what I was doing.
You were
and
happy
I chose
to be alive.
to be there. The thing is, I think with London is it can really suck you into this spiral where you're paying rent and then you're making money to pay rent to live in London, and the whole goal is just to live in London.
To survive.
And actually, to live in London is really hard. Mostly, you just survive in London because London eats you. Because it's so expensive.
And a lot of people have said that. Like, I think London is a good city to be in if you have a plan, if you have a project.
I think for you, it's a really good city to be in, to be fair.
If you know, like, I know, for example, I want to do some music, so I know London has a good network, good opportunities, and this is where I need to be to launch that network. But once that's done, this is not the place where I want to live. If I just wanted to live and not have any, like, you know, projects and things I want to achieve, I definitely wouldn't be here. It's a great city.
It's also a great stopgap.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like, I love living here. It's fantastic. But I wouldn't settle here.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't live back here now. I feel like I've like grown out of London a little bit.
What do you think made that? Do you think it's like since you've been in South America, or is that something you felt before?
I think so too. One of the things that I really noticed there is that no one asks you what you do.
Oh yeah, that's a very interesting one.
You do. No one's like, what do you do? Like, I'm gonna rate you against what I do.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just be yourself, and people are like, what are you into? What do you like? Who are you? How are you? No one asks what you do. It doesn't define you as a person. Nobody knew that I ran my own business there for months, maybe 6 months.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that in London, that is one of the first questions that you get asked in social circles when you meet people at a party?
I don't know.
In gatherings.
I think it's partly just like a natural conversation starter. I think it's quite innocent in the way that it's phrased most of the time. I've asked people 1,000 times, what do you do?
Yeah.
I think also it is because this city is quite, to live in London, you have to spend most of your time working. It's just the nature of living here.
Very true.
It's so expensive that work Most people have 2 jobs. Like,
minimum.
yeah, exactly. So that what you're doing for a living is actually most of your life. And so that dominates your thought process, and that dominates what you're talking to other people about. And also it dominates your insecurities. It dominates also what makes you feel secure from other people. And it kind of it puts you on that spectrum of your whole social interaction is in that field only, I think. And so I don't know, when I was here I didn't really notice it and it didn't bother me, but when I left and I came back I was just like, oh, it's
obviously, as you know, like this is a first episode of Pick One Session ever.
Yeah.
So again, like, huge thank you for being here.
no worries,
Really
I'm so
amazing.
excited about it.
And it's going to be part of a mini series on female entrepreneurs. So I'll be interviewing several women that I know that, you know, have launched their own business recently, or that are in the process of doing it. So it's very, very exciting.
That's super exciting.
And so, yeah, it's really, really exciting.
Yeah,
you know,
well done. By the
love
way.
Great star. Thank you, and thank you so much for being here. Like, it's really amazing to spend a day with a friend,
And working.
launching your business and like promoting your amazing business and just having a chat. Like,
This is possible.
so this is something I think I would like to ask all the women that are going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So as a woman, have you ever felt held back by your gender in your professional career?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so. In weddings, obviously less so. Most people who work in weddings are women, mostly. Apart from photographers, caterers, of course, but it tends to be, I mean, women work in events because when you're in hospitality and you're 20 years old or 19 years old,
You're
the
what
boys,
people want to see?
it's also, you're the smiley blonde one, and the boys do the cellar because they can lift barrels, and you at 19 cannot lift a barrel. I couldn't lift shit. I can fucking lift a barrel now, though.
Yeah.
I can lift the boy and the barrel.
Yeah. One arm each.
Fuck
Watch
that
me
shit.
work, baby.
But yeah, I think it just stems from there. So there is certain so that in itself is a gender stereotype. I mean, it's benefited me really well, but it stems from sexism.
And it works well
It's
for you
that-
because that's what you wanted to do, but I guess it could be something that's quite reducting for someone who had no interest in working in that field. And it's like, maybe they want to run their own bar, and so they want to like be able to learn that side, and that's just like not an option to them because they're women. That could have been a thing.
Exactly. And I think that also, I mean, in general, the kind of box stereotype, I think also bartending as a general industry, you know, is like peppered with sexism in every way. The
Yeah, that's very
customers you deal with, the amount of horrible sexual harassment I've experienced that actually doesn't happen to me anymore. I don't know if it's just because I'm older and wiser or if it's because I take less shit, but man, some of the
No,
stuff
maybe
that
you got like numb to it as well, because if you've been working in the bar and catering industry from like 18 to nowish on and off, like some things you just don't hear.
No,
But it's there, like,
maybe from customers. I certainly haven't had a boss hit on me in a really long time. I have a specific like don't
I meant
talk
more
to me
from
like that.
customers. Yeah.
And even people on high, I have no trouble being like, please don't talk to me like that. Whereas at 18, 19, you're so vulnerable actually. Even though I was really outspoken and way more Larry than I am now, what can you say to somebody who's 40 and hitting on you? You just laugh it off because
I know.
that's
Especially
what
if
you
it's your
are
boss, like if
programmed
it's
to
someone
do.
who's position of authority, like we're trained to respect people who are in authority positions, no matter what they say, which is also something that
terrifying.
should be
grossly
deconstructed
sexist,
at some point, because it's not, that's a really bad mechanism to be like, you know, scripted into your head from a young age. So
And I mean, I don't think I've been held back. I think I'm as far as I could have ever been, you know. I don't think I've been held back because I'm a girl. I think I found it harder. But I also think I've gained power from it. I think there's something really powerful about being female.
Do you think that's like boosted your
you're just like
your you've been hungry for it more because you're like, okay, I can see that people underestimate
you're like,
me.
wow, you've taken credit for another of my ideas. Again, even though you are less experienced than I am, just because you're male, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do it myself, and one day I'm going to be richer than you, and I'm going to live in South America.
Yeah. I'm going back, by the way, guys.
Just
Plug in. Like,
I don't
you
live
will email
everywhere.
me. Yeah. And then it's not her seat anymore. We're going to lose the amazing Helen to South America. South America, you're very lucky. I hope you know.
But yeah, literally, I think everybody's encountered sexism as a girl. I think it's just part and parcel of being female.
It's interesting to see, like, depending on which industry you work in, sexism has many different faces.
Absolutely.
And it's quite interesting to hear like different testimonies and just be like, well, the spectrum is wide.
It's huge.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
I mean, for example, I don't think
pool.
I've ever been, for example, turned down for a job as a girl, although I have been paid less as a girl. As a bartender in the bar that we met in, I was paid less than every male bartender.
That is crazy.
It's outrageous.
Like, I know that's a thing.
The same job.
I've seen the statistics, I've heard some stories, but like in my like immediate circle,
I've been paid less than my male counterparts. That is a thing.
For the exact same job.
Yeah.
Literally, you're a woman, so I'm just going to decide to pay you less because I can.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think that would happen there now. But,
wow.
Yeah. 10 years ago? How long ago was that? 8 years ago?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
That really happened.
That's crazy. To be fair, like that place, there was a few discrepancies. I think they were kind of choosing to pay people based on how they felt about them. So it was that's kind of ethically wrong overall, even outside of the obvious like sexism wrongness of it as well.
The whole place was fucked.
Yeah.
Also not in London.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. If from past life. Yeah. So if you could give advice to someone who was toying with the idea of launching their own business, what would be your best piece of advice to them?
I would say that there is always something stopping you. You can always just be like, oh, well, I just need to have my website sorted, and I just need to have my branding sorted. I just need to make sure that I have this and this under my belt before I do this. I just need to make sure that my Instagram has at least this many posts before I properly launch in my own proper way. There is always something that can hold you back from doing it. And actually, if you're doing it, you can change along the way. Everybody grows. Every business is totally different to how it started. Always. Look at Uber, look at Amazon, look at Airbnb, look at Facebook. They don't look like how they started.
Absolutely.
You start with your small seed of an idea, and that idea grows. You don't look at yourself. You don't look at like a tiny seed and be like, why the fuck is this not a tree yet? You wait and you're like,
and
oh
you know
soon
it's
this
gonna
is going to be a tree.
Yeah. It's like the certainty of knowing that you just need to put it in the pot and it's gonna, no matter what you do, it's gonna grow. I think that's how we need to like look at our business.
Exactly.
Very freeing way of looking at it.
Thanks.
I like that. Yeah. Basically, if you want to do it, just do it.
Just do it.
Could that be a way to like sum it up?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
So basically, guys, that's it. If you want to do it, just do it. It's that simple.
Look at us now.
Right, cool. So, what would you say like during the last 3 years that you've been running Wedding Bells? Like, what would have been your biggest success, or your happiest day, where you're like, fuck, this is actually my life. You know?
Oh, I have a few. I've done some really nice.
Top 3. Give us a top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so stressful.
More happy.
I've done some really good weddings, so that's always so rewarding. I can't even think of the top 3. I have loads where you're just like, oh my God, and they mention you in their speech. That's always something. When they're like,
that's lovely.
and even one for Helen, and you're like, that's me.
And you get to like be a part of someone's most intimate day. Their family's there, like, you know. It's really sweet. Like you get a lot of emotions.
Always cry. I always cry. Every speech, I always cry. I'm just like, oh my God. Even if I've never met them, I'm just like, the dad speech is so amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I love a good speech, a wedding speech. That's amazing. Weddings are great. Like
yeah, they're so cute, and it's like, I think also, I don't know. It's the combination of a huge effort. It's a year-long effort every time.
So how long it takes to plan each wedding roughly? Like an average would be like a year's planning.
I would say yeah.
Is that a minimum or is that an average?
The shortest I've ever done is 2 months.
Okay.
Which is mental because I don't know how you can guarantee 150 guests in 2 months. Do you know what you're doing in 2 months' time?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, how stressful is that? Right. So, and it's really expensive to hire out a venue for a wedding. To know that you're going to fill it, I think you need a year to be like, guys, in a year, be free.
Yeah. Especially because people invest so much money in it. Like there's a lot of pressure for you as the planner, like you need to deliver them what they pay for, which is like sometimes all of their 10 years savings, you know. For some, especially youngish couples, like wow, that would be all your savings.
There are ways to do it a lot cheaper nowadays. I think that's like really important to hold on to for some people. So you don't, I mean, the point of a wedding isn't the celebration. I think the point is it's not the party, it's the celebration actually. So it's that everybody's there. It doesn't need to be perfect, but some people need it to be perfect. And I am one of those people. So.
Yeah. When I say people, I mean me. Let's be honest here, Ron.
Sometimes I get a lot of people don't mind about stuff, and I'm just like, the food is 5 minutes late. Get the food out. God. But I think that if you are, I don't know, if you're one of those couples, I think part of my main job is just making sure people feel okay with it. So the point is to recognize that you're having a fun day and that the setting doesn't matter because you're getting married to the person you love. I think that's like the most important thing to kind of hold on to, because you can lose so much in the build up, especially because it's so expensive and it's so stressful.
It must be so stressful, and like I feel like people expect people that come to a wedding as a guest, you have a standard, because weddings are so grand.
To other weddings.
Yeah, and so like especially like we're getting to this kind of age, you know, like your early 30s, mid 30s and stuff, where this is
we
the
are
time.
not 30.
No, like we're
We're
getting
not
there. We're 29, okay? Relax, people. We're 29, but we're getting there from afar. We're getting there.
In my mind.
Yeah. No, but we're getting to the point where like everyone in our generation is gonna get married. You know, I mean, like this is kind of the moment. So I feel there is pressure for people getting married in that bracket where you're like, all of my friends have been to all of my other friends' weddings, and
I don't do something the same, but it can't be too different. And it's really hard, I think, to find that balance. I think it's also because it's such a showy statement of money. It's really stressful for couples who have less money. I think that's quite a difficult thing to overcome. I think also it's one of the reasons actually that I don't charge a specific price. I always say pay what you can or pay what you think is fair. So there's obviously like kind of ballparks. I'd never do something for like £50.
Of course.
It takes me a year. But I try to be as inclusive as I can, because I think that if I were in that situation, I think that the value it adds to have somebody to take the stress away from you, who knows how to do it, because you only ever have one wedding, hopefully. But you don't know how to do this again and again and again and again. And I think even I've done the weddings of event organisers and they've not been able to see it. And I remember her saying to me, actually, she was like, I can't see this because it's mine. I can't see what works, what doesn't. I need
you can't be objective, like you're emotionally involved, so it's like just stay away from it. Exactly. That's likely will do you a favour to stay away from it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really important to kind of incorporate. Also, I didn't answer the success question.
Yeah, I was gonna go back to it. No, it's fine. I like discovering more about like your journey within Wedding Bell, so that's really cool. Nice. Thank you for sharing. So the first thing you said as your top 3 best moments as Wedding Bell's founder were the good weddings. So having really good feedback from people saying, my wedding day was amazing. Thank you for bringing to life what we wanted. And that is great. That's kind of the purpose of your business, I imagine. Like you want to make people happy.
Yeah.
Which is great. At heart, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, you know. I want your love to have like a nice day. So exactly. That's really lovely. So what would be the next 2 of the top 3?
Oh, I would say that's like 2 of the top 3. One other one was when I have a photographer who's really famous in the wedding industry. She runs a huge wedding support group, because obviously most people who work in the wedding industry are freelance or they're limited companies and they only work for themselves. So it can be quite antisocial. As much as it's a really social thing doing events, actually the work itself is quite antisocial, quite lonely.
Yeah, coffee and laptop, right?
Right, exactly. And she created a support group and it's thousands wide now. And she knew who I was. That was great. So cool. I know, I couldn't believe it. She was like, are you Wedding Bells? Oh no, she said, do you work for Wedding Bells? And I was like, oh
my God, that's so great.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was like, oh my God, like, do you think I'm legit? Like, I'm not even sure if I'm legit.
Oh my God, I'm a business? Yeah.
I know, it's so
exciting.
It was somebody like sees you for what you want to be seen as rather than like how you see yourself, which is like
all my hard work pays for, like.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
How far along were you in the process of like being Wedding Bells then?
Oh, only a couple of months, 3 months maybe.
Oh my God.
Oh, I know.
That is great.
Yeah, it was super
Can we take a minute to like appreciate how cool that is?
Yeah, it's really
Within 3 months, like a really famous photographer in your industry was like, oh my God, are you wedding? Was she heard from you? And you were like, yeah, that's me. I am the business. Did you take time to appreciate it? That's pretty cool.
I know, I should myself. I was like really trying really hard to be cool, and then I was like, oh yeah, so great to meet you. And I was just like,
oh my God. Can you turn around so I can definitely, yeah. No, that's lovely. Okay, that's really cool. That's a cool top 3. Yeah,
thanks.
That made me very happy. So you mentioned earlier that you were traveling. You lived in South America for a bit this year, quite a big part of last year, on and off. So tell me a bit about that. Like how did you end up like moving to? Where did you go firstly in South America?
So I was living in Brazil and I was living in Colombia, and the culture there, although there is no recycling, which I just think is like a first world problem. I can't believe it. Yeah, I was like, why is there no recycling? And the person I was seeing said, you know, here we don't have recycling, but nobody has a new phone. Nobody gets a new car. Nobody buys new clothes every time you get new clothes coming out. You know, it's it's like a reuse and repeat society.
The
and
nature
I
of
think,
the culture is more like sustainable by definition. It's
yeah,
less
it's
consummation.
less consumerist, yeah. And I really wanted to bring that back. It really spoke to me. It really changed my attitude to how I do everything.
So during your travels in South America, did you go there for work, or was that like more leisure? Like you needed to just have a little break and just go and do your own thing for a bit.
It's more that work can go with me. I think that's kind of the whole point. When you run your own business, it's yours. You can take it wherever you want. You can do whatever you want with it. I think what I really find difficult is being tied to stuff. So to create a business that I would be tied to somewhere in is not the nature of what I'm doing.
This is not why you
absolutely. So I took it. I mean, one of the weddings I did, I planned pretty much totally from Brazil, and I flew back to London for the wedding, and it was amazing. Worked really well. We did a lot of conference calls over Skype and Zoom.
I just need to pause and just say that is amazing. You just went to Brazil for a little holiday while working because you've created the life that you want for yourself, and like I just think that's so great that like that's just a thing that you can do. I think
I think
we need
actually
to like tell
anyone
people
can
that
do
you
this.
can do that.
Do this.
Yeah. During your travels in South America, you started like kind of questioning the way we consummate things here.
Consummate means have sex.